What is the attitude among leaders toward this proxy war? And is there any appetite right now or drive to end this war?
Well, sadly, there isn't an appetite for ending the war. There's been an appetite for fueling it since it started over 5 months ago now. It's obviously very disappointing for us. The European leaders, if you could call them that, have behaved in a very subservient manner to the US NATO agenda. And that's very worrying for us because it's not something that is in the interest of the ordinary people of Europe. We've said from the start that the sanctions would be self-destructive and they were going to have a bigger impact on the people of Europe than they're going to have on the Kremlin or Putin, that they weren't going to stop the war. And as it turns out, some of the sanctions, I'd say, are definitely going to have a huge impact on the Russian economy. But right now, the sanctions are more immediately are going to have a massive impact on the standard of living of the majority of European citizens. Now, the idea that we would fuel a war in Ukraine, that we would pump more and more weapons in there to make sure the war didn't stop and that it would go on and on and on at a cost to ourselves isn't actually something that the ordinary people of Europe agree with. And there was a very interesting survey done there about 3 weeks ago by the European Council for Foreign Relations, which is a European body. And they found that over 2-to-1 of the Europeans that were surveyed in 10 of the EU countries, over 2-to-1 favored peace rather than punishing Russia. But sadly, the politicians are in a different place. And sadly as well, the mainstream media is in a different place. And the mainstream media and the politicians have behaved as if they were almost working for NATO. We like the idea of the European Union working in the interest of all its citizens, but sadly, that's not really what's happening at the moment.